Hi, my name is Trevor. I'm a sound and energy healer. I had a profound spiritual awakening 7 years ago, and since then I have travelled all over the world in search of the answers to the big questions. Why are we here? What is the purpose of life? And how do we find ways to feel truly happy? I have been fortunate enough to work with some incredible healers and teachers who have guided me on my own journey, and who have inspired me to use my skills as a video producer and musician to create a course that will really help to lift people's consciousness and raise their vibration. The following interview is with Elizabeth Rose. It's one of 49 videos that make up the online healing course entitled Heal Yourself. More information about this is available at the end of this video. Elizabeth's work is healing and informative and profound, and continues to be a guiding light for myself and so many others. Hello, Elizabeth, and thank you for joining us on this module that you call Elizabeth Rose. You're an author and a Deep Trance channel. So thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Trevor. It's wonderful to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, for people who don't know much about channeling, I was introduced to your work about a year ago, and I've had a couple of sessions with you since, and I found it profound and very helpful, both energetically and educationally as well. So I think you do amazing work, and I'm very excited at the prospect of doing similar work as what you're doing. So it's great to have someone that I can follow really and be inspired by. So yeah, thank you very much for that. On a personal note. So for those who don't know what channeling is, could you just explain briefly what your idea, what your understanding of channeling is?
Yes, good question. What is it? I didn't have a clue when it started. I was not a channel, or I didn't think I was a channel. But people who are channels are natural channels. It's something that's with them for a long time. They don't realize it necessarily, but maybe they hear voices and they're not going crazy. The channeling came to me as a result of a lot of meditation, as a result of a lot of paranormal experiences. And what I'm basically doing is going into trance. I'm a deep trance channel, as you mentioned. So I go into trance, and after years of practice, going in and out of trance, becoming a hypnotist, meditating for decades, what happens is you become open. As you go in and out of trance, you go deeper into trance, you go faster into trance, but you also become open to the non-physical world, which in my opinion governs our world. And so that's what happened to me. The first time I ever heard a voice that I knew was a voice, not just my imagination in the shower or something, was a booming voice in 2007. Saying, what did they say? Just a commanding voice saying, Joseph is coming, Joseph is coming, Joseph is coming. Now, I was fast asleep when this voice was booming, so I woke up, and then I'm looking around thinking, who's in my apartment? Okay, there's nobody in the apartment. How did the guy next door, how did his voice come through the wall so clearly? And as I'm puzzling over this, the booming voice repeats itself. Joseph is coming, Joseph is coming, Joseph is coming. And I just flew out of bed. And I had been, I'd had a really shocking dream, I guess, a really disturbing dream. And I found myself going and finding all about Joseph of the Bible, who was a dream interpreter. And that's how I found an amazing dream interpreter, Michael Sheridan. So that was my first experience channeling, but I didn't know I was channeling. It was just a voice, a rather commanding one, kind of a window rattling voice. Yeah.
So since then, you've been working with people, with clients, helping them to clear their energies and to develop. do you find it a different experience when they're physically with you or when you're working from a distance?
No, because I'm channeling the angels. I'm channeling now I was introduced. I was a good little Buddhist. I studied Buddhism because it was not a religion. I studied it for years. It was a philosophy of how to alleviate suffering. And I thought, I like that. I'm just going to stick with that. But as I was doing all these meditations, then Jesus showed up when I least expected. And he was more real than you and me. And it was such a profound experience. I was in shock. I was horrified, actually. And his message was kind of horrifying. You failed me, but you have a second chance. And I thought, oh, yes, I'm sure I failed you 1,000 times. And suddenly I was working with Jesus. And it took a while for me to realize that he could just speak to me, because I was a hypnosis student at the time, and I was experiencing past life regressions and going into a trance state and having experiences. And then one time I was really sad because I could see Jesus in the experience, and I was thinking, oh, I wish I could hear your voice. And then suddenly he starts talking to me. And I was thinking, oh, and he hasn't stopped. So
when you see Jesus, is it the same Jesus as that's depicted in our culture, or is he different?
It's been different at different times. It's such a good question. The first time he appeared, it was like something out of the Bible, except he had flowing white hair and a white beard. And it was like looking at a light bulb. He was luminous, he was illuminated. And then as the vision or the experience progressed, suddenly he's changed, and he's got scraggly looking hair that's sun bleached hair, and he's got a kind of a, I don't know, a tattered robe with little pinstripes, little reddish brown pinstripes, and he looks like the Jesus that we all think of, kind of, but not really, like close, but no, a little different. And so he changed depending on the situation. So a past life memory of him was very much what you would imagine. But the first time he appeared, he was radiant. He was floating. He was enormous, and I felt this big, pretty much. Yeah.
And he's got quite a sense of humor. I know that through our interactions, he's got quite a sense of humor. It's not as serious as the perhaps the religious references relate to him.
Well, his timing is amazing. He's got comic timing. I am very reverent when it comes to divinity, God. I've been taught to be reverent by the angels. But Jesus throws out, he's got this offbeat sense of humor, and it comes when I least expect it, like he does. And yes, he's very funny. He was joking about something this morning, actually. Yeah, that's right. I had a client, and they said, I was channeling, and the client had been with me for a long time, well, for a while. And suddenly the angel said, you're healed. You don't need Elizabeth anymore. And that's what happens. I lose clients all the time because the angels are healing them at the soul level. And when they are healed to the level at which they can heal others, and they won't be, well, basically they're at such a high frequency that they don't have to worry about entities and negative energies. They don't take on anyone's emotions, for example. When they're at that level, the angels will say, you're healed. You don't need Elizabeth anymore. And Jesus comes in, he weighs in suddenly and says, well, he said, now you're no longer on the bottom rung. You're up a rung. He's smiling. Up a rung? He goes, well, maybe a couple. So that kind of humor.
So it's as you're speaking, you don't know you've got complete control. You can switch off at any time. But as you surrender to the process, you don't know what's going to come through next. You don't know what's going to be said next. Is that correct?
No, and for the first 6 months, when it started, I became a trance channel when I was studying hypnosis and working in ultra deep states. I mean, I've studied hypnosis for years and was in the masters in clinical hypnosis, but I was taking an ultra deep hypnosis protocol. And that's when I started seeing and hearing, and my head was turning, and the angels started moving me. So that's when the first time I saw angels appear, and they were stacked up 4, 3, and 2, 4, 3, and 2, 9 angels. And so I saw that, and they were speaking to me, and then they were moving my head this way, and that's how I know who's talking sometimes. This is God.
Right.
This is the archangels. And it's very quick. It might be like that. It might be like that. It might be like that. It might be, this is Jesus. So they turned my head.
Okay.
And at the beginning, that's all they did was turn my head. And then the angels said, "We will move you, Elizabeth." And I thought, okay, fine. And then and then I move similarly to you. We are moved into mudras and what have you. But I'll be shown things occasionally. I'll be channeling, and it makes no sense. I don't know who I'm channeling, except that if it's from this side, it's probably Jesus. This way is usually someone's guide. This way is usually human. This way is the angels. This all up here, those are seraphim, archangels, God. That's kind of how it's directional for me. But it's not just movement. There's an enormous pull of energy. It's like a ramrod of energy comes through me, and a pulse. If you can think of when you're pumping up your tires, the pressure, I get that kind of pressure throughout my body, and it's pulsing through my heart chakra. So that's another thing. I know when I'm connected. If I'm not connected right now, so nothing's happening.
The people that don't understand, that are skeptical because they've never experienced such a thing, I can understand them thinking, oh, I can't really believe that, because it's not in their experience. But having my experiences, I experiencing the same things. You know, my body's going, I'm using the same symbols, and as you're interpreting the information, okay, well, that means that means that means this. I'm on that journey now, and each time you learn a little bit more. So the skeptical part of my mind, which I'm very aware of, gradually becomes quieter and quieter as I experience more. And that's what I would say to anyone, to be an open-minded skeptic in things. Don't just believe everything, but be open-minded enough to experience, to think, well, yeah, this is possible, and also listen to how genuine the person is, because once you open that channel, it's a pretty amazing journey. I spent 15 minutes a couple of nights ago at what some people would say talking to myself, but it wasn't. It was talking to me, and I couldn't identify as Jesus, but it felt very similar to the same energy that I experienced when I worked with you. But I didn't know what it was going to say next. So there's that part of my mind going, this is crazy, and another part going, this is interesting. So you must have gone through that process for the first couple of months, or?
Well, they took over my life. For 6 months, I was trance lady. So it was a process. I didn't just start channeling like I do now. When I started, the angels appeared and they introduced themselves. They were 9 angels, then there were 39, and now there's thousands. But they introduced themselves and they said, "Elizabeth, you can only heal others to the level at which you yourself are healed. We're going to heal you so you can heal all." And then they changed my diet. They, in a booming voice, demanded no more sugar, no meat. And one by one, the coffee, I had to let go of the caffeine. I had to let go of alcohol. I had to let go of all those things. And they put me through this purification process. And in the process of that, the channeling came in more and more and more. Started out like drops of water. I'd get one word and then another word. And then it was phrases. I'd have to listen to I'd hear their voices and I'd have to listen. You are going to, and I'd repeat it to someone. You are going to go down the street.
I see.
And you will meet the woman you will marry. That's how it went. And it was painful. And I wasn't channeling professionally. I was a hypnotist. I'm a chartered investment manager. I wasn't expecting to do this. This is the last thing I ever expected to do. But somebody, I write a blog, and on my blog, I mentioned that I'd become a channel, and someone from New York read the blog, and they called me. They said, I want a session. And I wasn't set up to do that. And I wasn't set up to, I'm in Canada, so I wasn't set up to take money from the States. And this gentleman mailed me $100 in US cash in the mail. So for an hour, I channeled, and it was so painful. And he didn't respond. He was just listening on the phone. And I was like, there is going to be another opportunity. You know, and it was so painfully slow, and I didn't know how it went. And at the end of it, he said, "Oh, great, thanks very much." And that was it. And I thought, how was that? I had no idea. So I sent him a survey on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being pathetic, 5 being beneficial and accurate. You know, how did it score on this? All these questions. And I got all 5s. I was stunned. I was stunned. And he very kindly said, "Look, if you want to chat about it, I'd be happy to, do a phone call." And he gave me such positive feedback that turned out he was a channel, and he just wanted to validate his own experiences, and it had all been validated. So that was really, that's when I became confident.
Yeah. And I think that ability to step into, to believe at a deep level allows, it reduces the resistance and allows whatever type of healing you do. I think once you step into that, there's no more resistance, and then the energy can flow through. And if I was, one of the questions is that if we are all consciousness and we are all energy and we're all connected to the source, the God, then why are channels necessary? Why are healers necessary?
I always wondered that too. I thought, why? Why do you need me? But here's the thing. When you become a clear channel, when you're going through this purification process, and I will tell you, the first time the angels came through to me, it was at a restaurant. I was in Toronto, and I was having dinner with a friend, and I suddenly saw this enormous being. And I said, there's someone here. And she says, "Oh, is it my mother?" And I said, "No." And I was trying to tune in. I wasn't a channel at the time. I was clairvoyant at the time. That's why I could see the angel. I said, "No, it's an angel." And I was trying to connect, but I couldn't connect. And then I just told this lady who was a producer, writer, and director, that maybe she should change what she's doing. And she was also quite a psychic and intuitive. And I thought, why don't you just do that? Forget the film. And so suddenly it was like the cone of silence came down, and I was in another place, and words are just spewing out of me, negating everything I just suggested. And telling her to stay on track, stay with the film, stay with the producing, writing, directing. And at the end of that, I couldn't see straight. I couldn't walk straight. I was like a staggering drunk. And when I got home that night, which I don't even know how I got home because I couldn't see anything, I was like a decrepit old lady. I was trying to see the numbers on the houses. I couldn't see. It was awful. I got home finally, by the grace of God, because I couldn't see anything. And the angels, that was before they took me off of all the food. They said, "Elizabeth, you can't handle the energies. You have to lighten up. No meat, no alcohol, no caffeine, no sugar." And I swear they kind of slapped me around all night, because I remember all night. And they said, "You can't handle the angelic energies. You have to let go. You have to let go of all things that are heavy, foods that are heavy, emotions that are heavy, and come up to a much higher vibration in order to handle the energies." So another thing is too, someone asked that question when I was channeling, and I was doing entity release, releasing entities. And they said, "Why can't you just do it?" And they said that if you, for example, looked in the face of God, you would probably be singed, be burnt. It's such a high frequency. So we're kind of in between. They work on us. The angels work on us. We get to a higher and higher and higher vibration so we can handle the angelic energies. And this is not mediumship. I'm not talking to deceased loved ones. It happens. The angels will bring them through. But my job is to go right up to God and go up to the highest energies and not connect with any humans that are just floating around. So that client was told, look, you'd be singed if this person, the channel, hadn't been attuned. They say rebalanced, attuned, aligned with God. They have this whole purification process. So I think that we are sort of halfway. We aren't maybe angels, but we're at a higher vibration, so we can help the angels to connect with lower vibration beings.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I totally agree with that. It's I know that I'm over the last year, my diet has changed, and I've gone completely plant based now, and because I know that if I am in a ceremonial space or I'm doing work with people and it's particularly high frequency, my body, I feel like I've been dragged through a hedge the next day. And it's quite funny because people think, well, if you're a healer, if the energies are really good, and then why are you suffering? And it's not unbearable suffering, it just feels aching. And it's like, because it's like trying, and I explain, it's like trying to put a high frequency voltage through a wire that's not capable of taking it. So it's a constant journey, really. And it's good information for people who are working as healers, that, you know, that what you said earlier, you can only heal someone at the level at which you've healed yourself is great, because we are constantly raising our own vibration. We are constantly trying to improve and become a vessel for this energy that comes through. And so, you know, I know there is people out there who somehow manage to still do amazing work, and the diet is completely, you know, the opposite. I don't know how, but I think individually, I think people have to judge for themselves and trust their own guidance and what information that's coming through, that, you know, actually, this is bad for me, this is bad for me. And I think once your heart opens more and you start getting more intuitive, then you just generally know what is right. But yeah, it's very, very interesting. And yeah, I suppose it's a lot easier to make these adjustments to your life when you know you're doing it for a purpose of helping other people as well, and not just for yourself.
I did not want to do this. I did not want to do this. It was done to me, so to speak. For 6 months, my life was taken over at this little cottage where I am now, my mother's cottage. And the angels took over. And I was helping a friend, actually, in the Dominican. I'd now become a trance channel because of the 6 months. And she said, let's go to the Dominican, and you can teach me everything you learned in the masters in clinical hypnosis and everything that you learned in energy healing, because I studied that as well. And I said, yeah, that sounds great. So we went to the Dominican, and I was just doing traditional hypnosis, and suddenly the angels just, we'll take over from here. They took over completely. And they said to her, my friend Krista, you will be a trance channel by the end of this vacation, and you will go to the Toronto Spring Psychic Fair with Elizabeth, and you will channel, and Elizabeth will channel. I was just going to go sell books at this and read auras, because I could see auras, and I interpret auras. I wasn't planning on channeling at a psychic fair, but that's what happened. And I only did it because Jesus made me do it. And in fact, that's the only reason I do this. It's because he's trying to heal the world at a soul level. So it's really all about healing at the soul level, what I do anyway.
So has your work made you personally more compassionate or more understanding?
Absolutely. People will find me online or through word of mouth, and they come with so many challenges,
Mm-hmm.
challenges you can't even imagine. And the angels will make me cry their tears. The angels will make me feel their pain. And I think that's part of my karma, to be honest. I, I think I've probably done some bad stuff to people because now I'm crying their tears and now I'm screaming their screams in order to release it. There's the angel said that there's words attached to the emotions, and so that's why I'll be saying ow, 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 no, 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 help, 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 that kind of thing. As every word is a release. The negative energies are like orbs of energy. So the angels will pull these energies out of people and push them through me in order to be released. And so, and they're kind of, the first time I saw one, it was kind of a sickly yellow green. It was just floating in front of me. And I was just looking at it. This is before I was a channel, and it just floated up from someone else and was floating in front of me. And then suddenly it shot into me. And I thought I was going to die. It was a horrible feeling. I just wanted to be, felt nauseous. I just wanted to lie down and die. And years later, I realized it was foreshadowing. They were showing me what was in store for me, is releasing all this stuff. When that first happened, I thought, oh no, I've got this person's miserable childhood in me now. But it was there as a demonstration. And I find that we're shown everything. So many paranormal experiences. I've had so many experiences, and I always wondered why until later it made sense. Yeah.
I'm finding that I don't know if this is something that you find, is that through the various different modalities I've used with people, is that, let's say, the universe gives you awareness, then it gives you choice. It always gives you, for me and for people I've worked with, it always gives you, okay, you have awareness and now you have free will. There's just to take something away from somebody without some reason for why it's been there or some understanding of why it's been there is almost, it feels to me like it's a universal law where, these things need to be understood at some level. It's a lesson, yeah?
That is so astute of you, Trevor. I talk about how the angels put me on what I call the angelic diet. It was rigid. I'm water fasting today because that's a regular part of all of this. And the first time they put me on the angelic diet, I was on it for 6 months, and they had me do a 21-day water fast, which I did. And then at the end of all that, I had lost weight. I was feeling better than I had in my whole life. And the angel suddenly said, okay, now you can eat as you will, as long as you abide by the rules. Because I was eating 3 meals a day, no snacks, the same food every day for 6 months. And then they said, okay, you're on your own. And I was almost horrified because I thought, I don't have any willpower. Sure enough, I put on 25 pounds. So yes, now I'm trying to get back to that purification process. So yes, we have a free will here, and we can make it work or make it work against us.
Just to explain a little bit more about the actual technicalities of what happens, is that from my understanding that we are energy, we have various fields around our body. And within them fields, there's information that can be trapped from this life, trauma, from past lives as well, many past lives. And that the process of us, as we develop, is to maybe become aware of these and to be able to transmute them. And would you agree that's the process that you assist with?
Yes, I think of it as consciousness and different levels and layers, like peeling an onion.
Mm-hmm.
So there's emotional layers and there's memory. When we die, and I'm getting this from Thomas Campbell, who you're well aware of, or Robert Monroe as well. When we die, we don't we don't remain the same person. Our personalities actually may die with us. We are left with memory and our sense of humor and love. That's what we are. We're consciousness, and that's what we're composed of. And the structure that we take on in physical form has both a physical and non-physical structure, exactly what you're talking about. So there's chakras and there's energy fields. And so what is happening is we're working to come up to a very high vibration. And so emotions are heavy, and emotions are of the earth. When you move up to higher and higher levels of consciousness, you don't need a physical body anymore, and you certainly don't need anger and guilt and shame. That's something we can learn from in the physical world. It's an opportunity to be in the school of life and to learn and to grow our level of consciousness. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, yes, it's fascinating work. Do you ever get bored? I mean, some people have a job and they think, oh, another day at the office. Do you ever think, oh, really? Or is it always consistently growing? And
That's such a good question, Trevor. About well, maybe 4 years ago, I'm trying to remember now, I had a full immersion student client, and I'd been channeling for hours, and I was channeling her past life, or I think she was in it, but I was experiencing it. And so we were both channeling together. She's an amazing channel now. And I suddenly got bored out of my mind. It was like the same old human crap. There's a birth, and there's this life, and then there's the trauma, and then there's he kills her, she whatever. It's the same old story told 1,000 different ways. And I panicked. I thought, oh no, I'm bored. Oh no, this is my life. Oh no, what am I going to do? And I went higher, and I went to the angels, and I just kind of went, what now? It's getting kind of tedious. And the angels laughed. I think Jesus might have laughed at me. And then suddenly it got interesting again. And it's like waves. Yeah, I'm channeling a lot of releasing of pain, a lot of releasing. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to hear me say, we are clearing, we are releasing, we are healing. And it goes on and on and on and on. And I'm like, can't you deliver a message or something? And they won't do it until they're ready to do it, because they're healing this person. So I don't have any control over the process. So I have learned patience, to just wait until the angels have finished healing, and then they will deliver messages when they're good and ready, and they will give guidance, and they'll do prophecy when they're ready. So it's more about me learning to be patient and just being the channel, just allowing them to take over. But yes, it's a discipline. It's like meditation. Meditation can be boring.
So where would you like to see your work taking you now? Well, in the next few years, where do you see it actually going?
I see. Well, I at one point I was getting tired because I was getting very busy, and I had a lot of. There was a technical issue, and so some clients were being double booked. Mm-hmm. I was getting referrals from somebody who had access to my calendar, and so everything was getting double booked. And so that was crazy. I had to sort that out, and it all got sorted out. It was fine, but it was like channeling for 8 hours a day for several weeks. And I thought, oh gosh, I can't keep this up. I think I'm done. And I channeled. I went up to the angels, and they said, is this going to be over soon? They went, oh no, Elizabeth, it will become more of what it is, and you will become more of who you are, and there will be more. That wasn't the answer I was hoping for. So since that time, I've found a really good chiropractor and masseuse, and I'm much more relaxed, and I just let it flow now more easily. I'm not as stressed as I perhaps was, because it is hard work channeling, because you're working to be blank, a blank slate, and the words have to be accurate. So after decades of learning numbers and facts and figures and equations in investment management, my job is just to be completely blank, which is ironic, in order for the messages to be clear. And so that's kind of interesting. So I see more channeling, because they've said there will be more channeling. I'm writing a second book and probably a third. So I see the books are important, and that somehow in all of that there will be more workshops. I've done a lot of workshops, more group work probably in the future.
I was just about to mention your book as well, which is on screen now. It's called Diamond Lantern, Waking Up to Who You Really Are. And it's a really good book, because I've read it. So the links are on your website, and on all the information will be at the end of this section as well. So if you, I was just going to ask you now if you'd like to demonstrate how you go into to doing your work.
Okay, thank you, Trevor. So when I'm channeling, I always start with a prayer, and this is actually Dr. Sharon Forrest's prayer. It's an activation prayer that calls everyone in. They form a triangle around the people that they're healing. So no matter where you are in the world, the angels are forming a triangle around you. And so I just look at me, I'm already tapping. So the angels take over, and so the energies come in. So I'll just say the prayer. Dear Jesus, and I've expanded the prayer quite a bit because of all the people, all the beings I've been introduced to. Dear Jesus, Mother, Father, God, Seraphim, Archangels, angels, divine specialists, I ask to be a channel of healing for Trevor, for all who are listening to this program. Work through me to them, to heal them at all levels for their highest good, or make them more aware. All who come in light and love are welcome. Amen, amen, amen. New energies come in through your crown chakra. Opening, opening, opening. We are clearing. We are releasing. We are healing. Healing energies are expanding in your energy field. New energy comes in through your crown chakra. We are clearing, releasing, opening, opening, opening. New energies are expanding in your energy field in order for you to move forward more quickly on your path. The healing energies are expanding in this time. It is time. It is time. It is time. It is time. Time for all to move up to a higher level of awareness. New energies are expanding in the energies of all, for we are clearing, we are releasing, we are healing. We are of God. We are archangels. We send you love, blessings, blessings, blessings. New energies are expanding in your energy field in order for you to let go of that which does not serve you and move forward more quickly on your path. In order for you to advance as a soul, healing energies are expanding in your energy field. We are clearing, we are releasing, we are healing, opening, 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 opening. Light comes in through your crown chakra, in through your third eye chakra, opening your throat, opening your heart chakra, opening, 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 opening. New energies are expanding in your energy field. Healing energies are expanding. All are lighter and brighter in this moment. New energies are expanding in your energy field in order for you to let go of that which does not serve you more quickly. Healing energies are expanding in your energy field, clearing, releasing, opening, 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 opening. We are assisting in all moments. We are ever present. We are of God. God is healing your energy field, raising your vibration, pulling you up into the light in this moment. You can focus. You can tune in to us in all moments where we are ever present. Become more aware. Become more aware of us. We are assisting you in moving forward more quickly on your path. The healing energies are expanding, and they will become more of what they are, and you will become more of who you are. Light shines down upon you, washes over you, washes through you. We send you love, blessings, blessings, blessings. Amen, amen, amen. You're already channeling.
For the sake of the interview, I'm trying to stay out of the energy, but obviously I can feel it very strongly. So as soon as you start, the energy comes in and it just moves my body like it's moving yours. So that's not necessarily what happens to everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very strong. So, but pleasant.
Over time, it might happen. The more you focus, the more you go in and out of a meditative state, the more relaxed you become. Good job. Then the more they will come in. So I'm the kind of channel where the angels just step right into me. And I found this out years ago when I was at a trade show, and a lady sat down in front of me for a reading, just a 15-minute reading, and my hand started waving, and I didn't know why. And then I just said, I'm just going to go into trance. And suddenly this voice was saying, hello, dear one, I know you, you know me. Atlantis, you chose the darkness and I chose the light, and here we are. I'm going to heal you. And, and so the angels started doing this, and I thought this lady would think I was crazy. And to my surprise, she said, I knew you were going to say Atlantis, and I knew you were going to say Michael, the archangel. And I said, oh, really? Are you a trance channel? Are you a medium or psychic? She goes, no, but the psychic up the row said, I see Atlantis around you, and I see Michael. Well, Michael just drops into me and takes over. And that's the difference. That's why my hand is just waving and my body is not my own anymore. Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's fascinating, and it's yeah.
You have the exact same ability.
Yeah, well,
you have
I feel like I'm following in your footsteps because see, the energy's still affecting me. I'm still trying to ground myself a little bit. Well, I feel like I'm following in your footsteps in some degree, because you studied hypnotherapy, I studied hypnotherapy, you did NLP, I did NLP, you did energy work, I did energy work. Then you started channeling, I've started channeling, and so I'm really curious to see where you're going next. What's in store?
Just foreshadowing. Yes, so am I curious. Yeah, because everything has been unexpected. Like the time they said, we will move you, Elizabeth. Another time I had a client on a couch. I was just doing hypnosis, and then I was channeling, and then she was just laying there stoic. She was reliving her childhood, which was not very good. And the angels said to me, you can cry, Elizabeth. And I went, yeah, I know. They said, you can cry. And I said, yeah, I know. They went, cry, Elizabeth. That's the first time they took over my emotions. I have to say that was a shock. So I don't know what the future has in store. I know, though, that I'm very optimistic about the future.
Yeah.
If you want to think of spiritual gifts that are surfacing right now, 20 years ago, when I was super psychic, I couldn't find one person who could understand what I was going through, seeing visions of the future. And now, so many people's spiritual gifts are surfacing, and they're becoming more aware. And it's a beautiful thing. And I feel very positive about that.
I think
so. I'm curious to see where we go.
I think at the moment, and for the next few years, this cathartic experience that the world is experiencing is very similar to what we experience as individuals when we go through our own process. It's something feels wrong, something feels that it needs to change, and then we go through this cathartic process, which is really very challenging, and we have to deal with our fears. And I'm seeing this pattern in communities, in towns and cities and on a global level as well. And although it's, even when you're going through your own personal crisis, sometimes just so in that personal crisis, you don't see, your reality becomes very small. So you don't see any way out of it. And I think for a lot of people, their reality is becoming very small and they're not seeing the greater picture. And I'm so thankful for my awakening process over the last last 6 years, that's allowed me to not experience the same level of fear that most people are experiencing, and to give me another perspective. And I can only imagine what some people are going through when they're faced with uncertainty. So, but I'm also aware, like you were saying, that there is a global awakening of healers, of people connecting to these higher frequencies that we're now being exposed to, and that the future is bright. The future is, it is a conscious awakening of something that we have never experienced before. And it's incredible. And it's an incredible time to be here on the planet, to be part of the journey to assist people in going through this process as well, and to help guide people on that journey. So yeah, I think that just being in a place of gratitude for doing any kind of healing work, I think is a good place to be.
We're all connected, and when anybody is doing healing on themselves, they're really healing the world because of that connection. So I'm grateful to everybody who's healing their emotions, healing whatever it is they're healing. We're all connected, and they're raising the vibration. In January, my dear friend Krista, who was my first full immersion student, came, and she just said, I feel I need to come. And every year we get together and we get our marching orders from Jesus. And so we went into trance together, and Jesus hauled us over the coals. And I say Yeshua more than Jesus because, I don't know, Jesus almost has negative connotations to it. But Yeshua hauled us over the coals for 6 days. We were both channeling, and it was a message of, okay, you know how to channel, you know how to take your clients into the light, you know how to do all things non-physical. Now I need you to be me. I need you to get rid of anger, let go of anger, because this is the new age. And I said, it's been the new age for a long time. And don't argue with Jesus, but I did. He says, no, this is the new age. And I didn't understand until I found out later, this is actually the age of Aquarius. I thought that came in a long time ago, but no, it is the new age. And in this new age, it turns out, which is why there's so much healing going on, that the chakras, which hold emotions, they're going to be amplifying whatever emotions are in your chakras. So your heart chakra houses all your fears and anger and all that stuff. So it was like boot camp to learn how to be without being angry, how to manage all these negative emotions. And it's not easy. It was really tough. And he was leading the charge on this. So that was a wake-up call for us, and that's a message for everyone out there, that it's time to let go of negative emotions and to love no matter what, to love everybody no matter what, however you can do it, however you can manage it. Forgive them all. Doesn't mean they get away with stuff. It doesn't mean they're not wrong if they're wrong, but you can still love someone even though you think they're wrong. So that was a really tough 6 days, I have to say, because it was all about getting rid of anger, releasing anger. And I still am working on that. As soon as I get triggered, if you get triggered by someone, then you still have anger in you. And so the angels are spending all this channeling time releasing negative emotions, releasing anger and fear and worry and hatred even, or anxiety, apprehension, all to, what's the message Jesus said in 2012? He said, lighten up. And I said, what? He goes, lighten up. And I thought, shed like 20 pounds? And no, all the emotional baggage you're carrying. it doesn't serve you, and it's going to compound in the new age. It's going to be, they keep saying the energies will expand, they will become more of what they are. Well, they used to say that 5, 6 years ago. Now they're saying now the energies are expanding. So they were talking about this, the new age. So that it's been educational, I have to say. I never understand anything until the time has come, and they're talking about what they were talking about 3 years ago. They're saying, okay, now it's here. So that was a real waker upper, I have to say.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting point, because there's a lot of people out there that think that because you do healing work that you have dealt with your problems and you're not allowed to have any issues. And all I think is that we're all climbing the same mountain, and the healers are just a few hundred feet above everyone else that they're climbing, and they're still having to work through their problems. And I think all the best people that are doing this, the people that are most effective doing this work, are the ones that they do the work, and then something comes up, they deal with it, and then they get back on and they do the work again, and they're constantly improving themselves. They're constantly raising the vibration in whatever way. I'm always skeptical when I meet someone who says, oh yes, I've dealt with everything, I have no fear, I have no anger. I've only ever met one person who I can honestly say is at that level, and that's Tom Campbell. And that in myself is an inspiration. And, you know, Tom would be the one person to say that he's the most humble person there is there that I've met. But I asked him, he's in his 70s now, and I said, when was the last time you were angry? And he said, well, when I think it was 26 or something like this, or, you know. And so I think, if nothing else, if we meet people that can inspire us in some way to think, you know, just by being that which we want to achieve to be, you know, I think that's a good inspiration. And I can tell by, you know, just when I first talked to you, your energy and how you dedicate yourself to what you do. It's and the work that you do is inspirational. So I just want to thank you now for how you've inspired me to continue to do this work as well.
Thank you, Trevor, and kudos to you for following this path and trusting, because that's what it's all about. Trust. My goodness, I'm lucky because I've been shown, but a lot of people aren't shown. They can't see. And so kudos to those people who continue on this path, who focus and follow their heart. They don't have to be shown. I had to be convinced. Jesus shocked me into this, to be honest. So I'm amazed when people have this awareness that they have to do this because they just know. I had to be shown. My arm had to be twisted. So I have a lot of respect for what you're doing, enormous respect.
It's not an easy path because you give up so much for this. And then people say, oh, I'd love to be able to do what you do. And I'm thinking, really? You're listening to people's problems every day? You are like being a paramedic every day, you know? So, but the rewards are also outweigh anything that you sacrifice. I think it's an amazing gift, an amazing opportunity. And what else is there to do? Really?
It's true. It's so true. It's the most important work, to heal the soul, to release the negative emotions and free people of the burdens that they've carried for lifetimes. It's an honor, a privilege, and a pleasure. And I'm very grateful now for this work. I'm very grateful. At the beginning, I really couldn't imagine the plan. I couldn't see I didn't know where this was headed. And I even asked Jesus, what's the plan? What's the plan? And he said, this is the plan. I'm going to shine a light on the first step. And when you take this first step, and only when you take the first step, then I'll shine a light on the next step. That's the plan. And true to his word, I never know what the future holds.
Yeah. Well, I hope that the future holds you doing this for many more years and enjoying every moment of it. And all your details are on screen now. For anyone that wants to contact you, would like to know more information and to get your books, When are the next books due out?
Won't be till probably next year. I have about 900 pages I have to cut down to 300, so
Okay.
a bit of editing involved. But yeah, thank you so much, Trevor.
Good.
This is really a delight to be on your show, but also to be working with you here and there. And I look forward to opportunities to collaborate in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What if you could connect to your own inner guidance? To intuitively know what decisions to make, and to sense opportunities before they arrive, and even attract the perfect relationship into your life. Life is a game, and it helps to know the rules. These are challenging times for so many people, but there is an awakening that is happening, the type of which has never been seen in the history of our planet. And I know that some of you already know exactly what I am talking about. Hi, my name is Trevor. I'm a sound and energy healer. I had a profound spiritual experience 7 years ago, and since then I have travelled all over the world in search of the answers to the big questions. Why are we here? What is the purpose of life? And how do we find ways to feel truly happy? I have been fortunate enough to work with some incredible healers and inspirational teachers who have guided me on my own journey, and have also encouraged me to use my skills as a video producer and musician to create a course that will really make a difference to people's lives. I invited Bea Horvath, a gifted intuitive teacher with over 15 years of experience, to co-write and co-present this unique online course entitled Heal Yourself. This course contains over 13 hours of professionally produced video, including 7 hours of channeled guided meditations and the Heal Yourself Companion, a stunning 212-page ebook that supports your learning experience. Some of the subjects we explain include chakras, sacred geometry, out-of-the-body experiences, sound healing, quantum physics, breath work, the pineal gland, light language, conscious relationships, and much more. We have also included an hour-long demonstration of our own energy healing work and special guest interviews with trance channel Elizabeth Rose and light language artist and intuitive healer Josie Fontaine. As you progress through this course, you will see how everything connects and how easy it really is to understand what really makes the differences in your life. And because this is a course for the mind, body and spirit, we have included sections teaching you powerful tools to break addictive patterns of behaviour, reduce stress and anxiety, and enable you to take control of your own emotions and feelings. What you will learn in this course are the fundamental understandings and tools that you will use in every aspect of your life. The course itself is divided into 7 days or modules. Each module contains 6 sections, where you can watch your videos, download the healing MP3 meditations, and your companion ebooks. Whether you're a healer already, interested in expanding your consciousness, or somebody who even suffers from stress and anxiety, there are tools in this that will really help you move forward in your life. It took over 7 months to produce. It's been a labour of love, and it's just been launched in February 2021. It's time for the world to actually wake up, connect, and do things differently, and I hope that you can join me on this course. If you are already interested in healing and the mysteries of the universe, then this is the perfect course for you. And if you are someone who just wants to find more tools to deal with their own stress, to find purpose in their life, and have a deep connection with themselves and the people around them, then also this is the perfect course. You can also join the community, which is the Heal Yourself Facebook group, where we can share different ideas and experiences. There is so much information in this course that is so relevant that we know that you will be coming back time and time again. That's why we have given you lifetime access. It's time to raise your vibration, find your purpose, and heal the planet. And it starts when you heal yourself.